How's it going, guys? Mr. Allen here. We're going to talk about the coordinate plane really quick. This is going to be kind of a crash course, so mostly meant to be a review for any 6th graders, but if you're a 5th grader and you're kind of up to the challenge to learn from this video, you could definitely do that, especially since you can pause and rewatch or slow down. I don't know how my voice will sound slowed down, though, so I don't know if I want to know. But anyway, might help you out. So anyway, here we go. What you're looking at here is the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is made up of an x-axis and a y-axis. So this is the x-axis. This would be the y-axis going up and down. Okay, and what an axis is basically a number line. So you can see we have a number line going across here. That's the x-axis. And going up and down, we have this other number line. That's the y-axis. Okay. You can also see on our number lines, there are positive and negative numbers. So positive numbers would be the top half here of the y-axis or the right half here of the x-axis. Negative numbers, okay, I'm switching my highlighter for us. Negative numbers would be the bottom part here of the y-axis or the left part here of the x-axis, okay? So I hope this isn't making it more confusing using the highlighter, but I'm just trying to show you that if we see that we have positive numbers up here, these are positive, and these are negative, and these are negative, okay? So those are some important things to just notice about the number lines that we call an x or y axis that make up the coordinate plane. The plural of axis is axes. So if you're trying to talk about both of the axes at the same time, axes would be the word to use, okay? Now, to show a point or plot a point on this coordinate plane, we use a y coordinate and an x coordinate, and we put those in pairs. So we always list an x coordinate first, so I would do something like, okay, 3 would be my x coordinate first, and then my y coordinate would be next. I could maybe do like 7, and that would be a point on our coordinate plane. So to plot a point, I would write an x coordinate, which would be 3 in this case, and a y coordinate, which would be 7 in this case. The x coordinate, so the 3 shows where and how I move on our x-axis, while the y coordinate shows where and in which direction I move on the y-axis, okay? So I'll always start at 0, 0, which is dead center here in the middle. That has a fancy name, and that is the origin. So the origin is the middle. And the way you would plot the origin is you would say 0, 0, and that's dead center in the middle there. You didn't move to the left or right, right? This second one, you didn't move to the left or right, and you didn't move up or down, okay? So, and we'll talk about that again in a second here. So this 3 means I'm going to start at the origin, and I'll use a highlighter to track my movements, but I'm going to always delete the highlighter afterwards because I don't want it to stay. I'm going to say, okay, 3, 1, 2, 3 over, right? 3 over, and then 7 is my y coordinate. So then 7 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means this point is right here. I'm going to get rid of my highlighter. Okay, so that's how I would plot a point. So let's try a couple more. What if I have 3, 4, so that's a point. Then I'll make that point A. Point B could be at point 3, -5. Point C could be at -2, 4, and point D could be at -3, -8. So let's plot those. So, and I'll track it with the highlighter again so you guys can follow along. If you want, maybe pause and guess where I'm going to plot those. Try and use what you know. So let's look at point A, 3, 4. So I'm going to go over, start at the origin, right? Right in the dead center. we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, then positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know point A is right there. Okay. Let's look. B. Where would I put point B? Well, first number, 3, shows that I'm going to go positive 3. 1, 2, 3. Then the second number, negative 5 here, says I'm going to go negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5, which means point B is right there. Okay. Let's look at point C. Oh, look at that. I forgot to put parentheses at the end. Negative 2, 4. So negative 2 means I'm going to start off by going negative 1, negative 2, then 4. So that's positive 4. So I'm going to go positive 1, 2, 3, 4. So point C goes right there. Okay. And now let's look at our last point here. Point D, negative 3, negative 8. Negative 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 3, negative 8. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 8. And that would be point D. Okay. I want to go over a couple specific examples that tend to throw students off the first couple times. What if you have something where it's like this, 0, negative 3, or what if it's the other way around? Maybe it's 5, 0. So what if you have a point that you want to plot on your coordinate plane, but one of the coordinates, one of your numbers here is a 0? Well, let's do this one first. 0, negative 3 just means your first number here, which indicates your horizontal movement right on your x-axis. Right, you could say this is the x and a y coordinate. So on the x-axis, we'll actually go 0. We're not going to go left or right, right? We're just going to stay right here. And then our y coordinate here, which shows how far up or down we're going to go, we would just go negative 3. So negative 1, 2, 3. So that one would actually end up on the y-axis, right? And it ends up on the y-axis because it doesn't say to go anywhere on the x-axis. It will stay just right in the middle, okay? So I'm going to label that point E just to keep track of stuff. So that would be point E. Let's look at the next one over here that I will call point F. 5, 0. So once again, I will start at, what's the starting point called again? The origin. I'll start at the origin, and I'll start off by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like any other time. Now I've gone 5 to the right, positive 5, but then 0. So then I don't go up or down. I actually just stop right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be point F on the x-axis. Okay, I hope this is helpful. I tried to point out a couple things. Just a reminder, this is an important piece of vocabulary right in the middle here, right? What's that called? That is called the origin. Okay, origin. That's big. That's the center. That's where you always start counting from. Okay, and something else that tends to mess with students at times is that we are labeling the lines, right? So when we count over and go 1, 2, or negative 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the intersection we're counting. We're not counting boxes. Some students count boxes, and I think we're counting over a certain number of boxes. So we'll count over maybe 10 boxes for whatever reason. Then you go up, and this is the box. But we're not. We're not counting boxes, right? We're counting on the grid. Okay. So if you found any other videos or resources that were helpful to you, post them down below. And let me know if you have any other questions, all right? So this was our crash course in the coordinate grid.